Hey guys, and welcome back to our course together, our beginner course for beginner guitarists. We're going to go ahead and get started talking about some of the materials that you need. Now, it might seem a little simple for you, so we hope it's not insulting. But we're going to talk about some of these items that we're going to be needing for our time together. Now, you might think to yourself, okay, I got it. Like I got everything I need. I think I'm good to go, and that's totally fine. But let's just spend a little bit of time together and talk about some of the specific things that we're going to need for our time together. All right. So first off, we're going to need a guitar. Uh, so you might ask yourself, what kind of guitar? Well, any guitar, really, as long as it fits comfortably and naturally under your arm. Now we're going to talk about what that looks like in our next module together, the basics. But for now, just we don't want any guitar that's going to be really, really huge. That's going to be kind of awkward to reach around, but we want it naturally to kind of fit under our arm. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to give you some recommendations. So for students who are 12 and older, I recommend a full-size guitar. Generally, unless you're just a little smaller, and that's totally fine. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to include some recommendations down below in our PDF for this module, and then what you'll be able to do is you'll actually be able to click those and kind of choose for yourself. Hey, I think my student would work well with this kind of guitar, or this might be a good investment, or you might want something that's a little less expensive, and that's totally fine as well. But just something that's going to be nice and comfortable, and that's going to suit you well. It's going to be very helpful for you. All right, acoustic versus electric. Well, you tell me. What do you enjoy? What do you want to play? A lot of the beginner principles are the same for acoustic guitarists and electric guitarists. So parents, a lot of those principles are the same. So you're in the right place. However, the biggest thing to remember is what do you want to play? And now these two will diverge eventually. So we'll get to the point where if you're an electric guitarist, you want to kind of specialize in some other things, some gear and whatnot. Now, I'll personally be playing an acoustic, and that's what I feel most comfortable with. But at the end of the day, it's kind of whatever you want to play. All right. So next thing you need is a notebook and pencil. So why? Well, it aids in memorization. So let's talk a little bit about this. For me, can you remember? I can barely remember what I had for breakfast yesterday. Let me think back. Okay, that's not true. I do remember because I eat the same thing every day, and you might as well. That's totally fine. But can you remember? So but this is going to be really helpful for you. You're going to be able to write down things that are helpful and instructive for you. And then if there's anything that you want to kind of ask a question about, then you can also write that down and then have those questions, have a list of those questions. So notebook and pencil is going to be really, really helpful for you. Now, the next thing, we went a little too fast. All right, the binder. So the reason that we want to keep a binder, and you can actually put notebook paper in the binders, however you want to do it, but I want you to print things out. I want you really to feel free to print things out. No, really, feel free to. This is your experience. This is your course, and we really want to serve you guys. And honestly, for me too, I prefer hard copies. Some folks love to use technology and just view PDFs and so on. That's totally fine. If that's if you want to do, if you want to do that, that's totally fine. However, for me, it's just been really helpful to have hard copies. And I'm not, I'm not old, I guess, so to speak. But I do love having those hard copies. It just helps in memorization and helps to kind of feel the paper, see it, back and forth. So those hard copies are really, really helpful. But really, feel free to print things out and place it in a binder so you can keep up with it. All right, you might think this is unimportant, but it's not, I promise. Your chair is actually really important when you're playing. Now, of course, I'm standing currently. I kind of have my studio set up to where I'm standing. I like to kind of get a little bit of exercise in while I teach and record and whatnot. But for our chair, this is what we want. We want a chair without arms. So a couple of things that people have mentioned in the past has been really helpful for them is a piano bench or a bar stool. Now, you want your feet flat on the ground. That's really important. But a piano bench and or a bar stool would be totally fine. For me personally, I drag in one of my kitchen chairs and I sit in it. It's comfortable. It's got the back to it, if I want to lean back a little bit, but I'm still able to put my feet on the ground. Okay. That's really, really important. It's keeping our feet on the ground while we play. All right, this is the next to last thing that we want to talk about is tabs and windows. And no, not your house windows. You won't be needing those. And always keep those open, weather permitting. That's fine with me. I would have mine open today, except I want to be clear for you. But we want to actually keep our tabs and our windows on our computers just closed. Just go ahead and close them out. And we're not talking about guitar tabs, even though we'll touch on those eventually. But if you got some messaging apps that you're using to keep up with your friends, or say you're playing some games or any other apps like that, just go ahead and close those out for our time together. And let's just focus and really hone in on what we're doing together. And I promise it'll serve you. So now, the last thing here that we need. This isn't a material, of course, but I think it'll be helpful for you. Gratefulness. Let's be grateful. So your parents, your guardians, whoever's taking care of you and has gotten you on this course, well, they've done a lot of work to get you here. And so one thing that we want to do is we just want to express our gratefulness to them. Now, one way to show gratefulness is actually to show up. Come to class, come to class often, and then come prepared, actually work through the action items that we've talked about together, and go ahead and spend some time getting yourself prepared when you come to class. Come and sit down and be prepared. Now, this is one way to express gratefulness as well. Just say a plain old thank you. To those who are serving you, caring about your education, whoever signed you up for this course, go give them a big hug, and tell them thank you and be grateful for the time and the energy, the financial resources that they've put in so that you could be here and experience this. All right, so today we talked about needing a guitar, a notebook and pencil, a binder to organize those prints if you so desire. We want a chair without arms, and then we also want our tabs and windows closed, and also go tell your folks thanks, whoever's serving you this way. All right, so what's next? Well, who am I? Let's talk a little bit about that. I think that'd be helpful and fun to get to know me a little bit. And then I also want to get to know you as well. So we'll talk about how we can do that. All right, action items for today. Go ahead and gather your guitar, your notebook and pencil, your binder, your chair. Make sure all those tabs and windows are closed out, and then express your gratefulness to those people who are supporting you in your endeavor here. Okay. All right, we'll see you soon, and you can just keep on moving to the next module.